What's up, nerds and nerdettes, and we little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming and my friends. I am back! Whoa, what a beautiful Monday! Only a couple of weeks left in May, and we got this beautiful day. How could I not come out on my lunch break and sit down and rap with everyone? Well, there's a good reason for it. I really got nothing on my mind today. Really not sure what to talk about, so maybe I'll just talk about me. Maybe I'll just talk about me a little bit. Now, anyone that's been watching the show for a while, you've heard common things about me. You've heard me say common things about myself since you've been watching these videos. And if you're new, then you don't know much about me. Now, I did drop about a year ago, Who the Heck is Big Johnny G, which talked a lot about me and my background, but nothing I feel really super specific. Now, one of the things I pointed out in that video, which is really true, is I'm really just about gaming. You know, as far as my hobbies go, the only thing worthwhile that I'm really into is tabletopping. Why? I'm not sure if I really answered that in the drop about Who the Heck is Big Johnny G. Why do I like board gaming so much that it's really the only thing that holds my attention? Why? Why don't we examine this for a moment? Okay, so what I love about board gaming is that you're getting together with a bunch of friends and you're sitting down in person. Now, to me, this is a big deal, especially nowadays in this day and age. It's a very big deal. And the main reason for that is because of the interaction. You see, we human beings, we feed off of each other through body language and facial expressions, even more so than we do over words. So when you're sitting down live with another person, it's a completely different experience. And that's an experience that I strive to meet every day. I just love that sensation of sitting down with a group of people that I like or love and having these great adventures. That's another thing. I love tabletopping because of the adventures it gives me. Nothing else I've ever done in my life feels like an adventure other than going off on a real life adventure. But living in the 21st century or growing up like I did at the tail end of the 21st, there's not a lot of adventure left to have in this world anymore. And that's where tabletop gaming came in. You know, when I was a little kid, I really cut my teeth on the mythology of King Arthur, and then from there into Greek mythology. So to me, that's what an adventure is, and that's what I get when I sit down and I play these games with my friends. Sitting down at the table, and it's problem solving. A good board game is going to be problem solving, whether it's one versus all, whether it's all versus all, or whether it's a fully cooperative game. We're going to get these levels where we're feeding off of each other, feeding off of ideas, feeding off of thoughts, and working towards a common goal. It's teamwork. It is teamwork, just as much teamwork as if we were on a football field together. Really, the only thing you're missing is the physical activity. But as far as the teamwork goes, that's really important. Which, you know, brings me to the one thing I don't like about tabletop gaming. Let me rephrase that. It's the one thing I don't like about tabletop gaming nowadays. So I'm 49 years old. I was born in 1969. Grew up in the 70s in the streets of New York City. Completely different than growing up in the streets of New York City today. Let me just say that up front. Now, to me, when I was growing up, there was a much clearer divide between nerd and not nerd. And I use the term nerd because back when I was growing up, you heard the word geek, dork, dweeb, but nerd was really what we were. That really defined us better than anything else. And back then, you know what? Let me put this in a Dungeons and Dragons term. Now, in first edition Dungeons and Dragons, advanced Dungeons and Dragons, you had two options that you could do, depending on whether you were human or a non-human race, such as an elf or a dwarf, halfling, half elf, half orc. Now these two differences are, if you're a human, you could become a dual class character. That's it. Dual class. Just two classes. That's all a human is going to have time to train and learn and perfect. While non-humanoids, with the exception of half-orcs, because they have very short lifespans, but otherwise, because of their longer than human lifespans, they're able to master and learn multiple classes. So this is what I'm getting at. In the old days of D&D, was much like the whole days of being a tabletop nerd was much like the original days of AD&D, because we were all pretty much single class. Because being a double class, a dual class human was not easy. It was difficult. It was a lot easier if you were going to be a multi-class non-humanoid. Well, maybe not a lot, but a little easier. But my point is that I'm beating around the bush to get to here, is that when I was growing up, being a nerd, especially a tabletop gaming nerd, a D&D nerd, that was it. You were a nerd or you were a jock, and the line was very clear between the two, and there was no such thing as a jock nerd, really. I mean, I never encountered one. Maybe if you're in my age category and you grew up during this time period, you were one or you knew one. But I got to tell you, that's severely the minority, really. Nowadays, it's completely different. Nowadays, you don't have any tabletop gaming nerds. Now you have multi-class. You have jock nerds all over the place nowadays. And it suffers when jock nerds are trying to just game with single-class nerds. And I'm still a single-class nerd. That's it. If you've watched my Who the Heck is Big Johnny G, you already know that I have never had any desire or interest whatsoever in sports or cars or hunting or camping or fishing or hiking, or never had any interest in any of that stuff. Always just puts me right to sleep. As soon as that happens, my mind just turns off. So nowadays we're living in the age of the multi-class nerd, which I have nothing personally against, as long as you are with other multi-class nerds. Now, the reason, don't give me a lot of hate here. The reason I say that and I phrase it like that is because when you were dealing with a multi-class nerd who's dealing with an old school single-class nerd, things can get a little difficult. And I deal with that in my own group right now. And it's something I never really had to deal with, except for like maybe the last 10, 15 years. And it's been getting progressively more specific towards that than it ever was before. So this is what it comes down to. Being a single class nerd equals this. I'm gaming on Saturday. Multi-class nerd. Well, my group is gaming on Saturday, but my other friend wants to go jogging, or maybe my spouse wants to go rock climbing, or maybe, it's nice, I'd like to go fishing today instead. This. What I mean is, single class nerds, the old school nerds like me, we were nerds, and that was it. And that's what we did, and that's what we expected. And nowadays, it's all, as long as I don't have anything better to do kind of attitude. Oh, I love gaming. I'm a tabletop gamer. I game whenever I have the chance. Oh, when do you have the chance to game? Oh, when better things don't come along. Well, then, me personally, I wouldn't call you a tabletop gamer. I would call you someone that enjoys tabletop gaming, someone who has tabletop gamed, but not a tabletop gamer. And I can put it in perspective too with my friends that are diehard sports fans. There's a game. You got a football game on Sunday. That's what they do. That's what they are expecting to do. That's what people that know them, family and friends, expect them to do. It's Sunday, they're going to so-and-so's house for the game. Or Sunday, they're going to the bar for the game. That's it. And everything is fine. No one thinks twice about it. But nowadays, you tell someone, I can't hang out with you next Saturday because my gaming group, we're going to be sitting around, we're going to be playing, we're going to be playing some Escape from Colditz, or we're going to be playing Fallen Land, or we're going to be playing Sentinels of the Multiverse. And people look at you like, really? You're not going to hang out and do whatever, fill in the blank. Instead, you're going to go gaming? So there's this stigma. Yeah, we're living in this golden age of geekdom, but there's still this stigma that if you're not somewhat sportsy, you're still kind of looked down. Like, what do you mean you don't have anything better to do than gaming? Gaming is great if you have nothing better to do. And this is my problem nowadays. I have this problem all the time. And it's been a growing problem. And it's not just me. I see other people that mention this, but never. It seems like when other people mention it, they're walking on eggshells, which I kind of feel like I'm doing now a little bit, because I don't want to come off like, I don't even know what you would call it. I don't even know how I would be coming off. But the point is, I love tabletop gaming because it's this experience between you and the other players that is real, that is beyond words. It is literally beyond words, because you are constantly feeding off of each other. You're feeding off of not just the language and the specific words that are used. You're feeding off of the inflections and the tones that these words are delivered in. You're being affected by everyone else's body language. You're being affected simply because other people are in the physically same area as you. And that does make a difference. It makes things deeper. It makes it feel more like an adventure. That's why I love tabletop gaming. It's all an adventure. Whether you're a die-hard single-class nerd like me, or I hate to say it, but even if you're a dual-class, a multi-class nerd, your nerd jock thing, you're still enjoying it, but try not to get too involved with the single-class nerds, because it's really disruptive. It's like this whole thing where you forget that gaming is a team effort. And some individuals only think of sports as being a team effort, and that's not true. When you have a D&D party, that is a team effort. And if half your party can't show up because they have better things to do that day, you got the wrong group. And that's going to make your tabletop experiencing of the adventure, it's going to be that much less. And that's not worth it. You want the best feeling you can while you're doing that. That's what these games are made for. They're made for fun. You got to have fun with it. So know who you are. I think ultimately that's what I'm saying. Know who you are, know who you're hanging out with. So if you're not a single-class nerd, don't make a lot of promises to your single-class nerd friends that you might not be able to keep, because something better is going to come along. Me personally, I don't understand what better is. Not for me. That's why I said personally. I don't understand what better is. So I don't know. I just came out here, just a little bit of rapping, a little bit of talking, a little bit of kvetching. But I game because it means that much to me. It means the camaraderie between my friends, the feeling. It is very real, even if the game isn't. All right, my friends. So thank you for letting me just talk directly from my mind, or real, just flow of thoughts. That's all this was, flow of thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was worth your time. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, whether you agree with me or not. As long as you understand where I'm coming from, that's what I'm looking for here. I'm not looking to change your mind. I'm not looking necessarily to make you agree with me. As long as you know how this makes me feel. I'm not alone in this. All right, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for keeping in touch with us on Twitter and on Facebook, for putting up with our sometimes do, sometimes don't Instagram posts. But as always, thank you all for subscribing to us here on YouTube. Thank you for sharing our videos. Thank you for liking our videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for making this feel more like a friendly, nice little group effort we're doing here. All right, my friends. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G with Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.